Hi everybody, my name is Alex Tyrrell, and today we're in Montreal to launch the campaign of the Green Party of Quebec ahead of the 2018 great team of candidates. A great team of candidates that the Green Party of Quebec has never been as well represented as it is today. I can tell you that today marks the beginning of a new chapter of history in the Green Party of Quebec, the beginning of a phase of unprecedented growth which will allow us to transform to get to Quebec to meet our ambitions. The beginning of a concrete and progressive campaign of ideas led by people of convictions in all regions of Quebec. The beginning of a new era and the beginning of a new adventure for us all. The Green Party of Quebec is by far the best party to represent young people, women, minority groups, and the entire population of Quebec. Together we have built a strong team of candidates rooted in their communities who are ready to do everything within their power to advance Quebec's interests in an increasingly polluted environment and in the context of a global transition towards renewable energy. At the Green Party of Quebec, we have an honest, passionate, and committed team looking to advance our shared values, and I'm very proud to be a part of this team. Tonight, I have the pleasure and privilege to present you our electoral platform, A New Green Plan for Quebec. It's an ambitious program that aims to radically transform the priorities of the state to accelerate the energy transition and lift every person in Quebec from poverty while supporting an inclusive identity policy that's open to the world and open to diversity. A program that takes into account the reality of social inequalities, climate change, and the destruction of our ecosystems. On the economic front, we are proposing a major tax reform that will reduce the tax burden for low-income people while protecting the middle class. The rich, the 1%, multinationals, mining companies, and major corporations will have to pay their fair share in order to contribute positively to the community. You know, the current economic environment is supported by neoliberal policies. People are having more and more trouble making ends meet. They are overworked and underpaid. This is why the Green Party of Quebec wants to increase the minimum wage to $15 an hour while gradually reducing the work week to 32 hours per week within 4 years. The Green Party of Quebec is proposing a tax reform that will enforce a significant price on carbon while taking into account the realities of people with low incomes, the regional realities, and the proximity of people to public transport, as well as their ability. As you know, there's a clear consensus in the environmental movement that the struggle for a healthy environment and the struggle for social justice are fully connected and inseparable. It is for this reason that the Green Party of Quebec proposes the beginning of a new era of relations with First Nations, a new era of relationships based on respect, mutual assistance, and recognition of their right to self-determination. An era in which the 11 First Nations are able to express themselves inside the National Assembly while having the right to veto projects that are not in their best interests. The beginning of a new period of reconciliation and of Throughout this talk about clear proposals to combat the systemic racism that is present in Quebec. Our goal is to ensure that everyone who lives in Quebec can live without discrimination, hatred, or intolerance. The diversity of Quebec is one of our greatest strengths, and it's time for the major political parties to recognize it. We are frontline allies in the fight against intolerance, Islamophobia, racism, sexism, and homophobia. Let us promote living together and moving forward, leaving the speeches of the nationalist right behind us. Let's accelerate the energy transition by promoting the development of green technologies such as wind, geothermal, and solar energy. Let's reduce our consumption of animal products, change our lifestyle, and take concrete action to improve animal welfare. Let's embark on a transit revolution by making it faster, more widespread, more comfortable, and more efficient. Let's use the financial levers and tax policies designed to reduce our emissions. My friends, I can tell you today that the Green Party of Quebec will continue our campaign for free and accessible public transit across Quebec. Together, we propose the installation of a high-speed electric train that will not only reach Gatineau, Montreal, Trois-Rivières, and Quebec, but also Sherbrooke, Saguenay, and Gaspésie. Let's reinvest in the health system, fight waiting times, as well as the privatization of health services and the neoliberal austerity measures supported by all three major political parties. You know as well as I do that Quebecers want change. We want a greener government. Is more and more responsive to the real needs of citizens. Unfortunately, the CAQ and François Legault are not at the same point of view. They propose an austerity program, cuts in social services, and tax cuts for the richest people. Moreover, Legault has attacked immigrants, threatening them with deportation while denying that racism exists in Quebec. Is this the kind of... On the Liberal front, we have a premier who has spent 3 years imposing radical austerity measures while wrecking the environment and social programs. Today, in the election campaign, he has changed his speech to appear as a leftist. This is simply not credible. The reality is that the public services in Quebec are in worse shape today than they were when he took power in 2014, and Quebecers will not be fooled by this public relations strategy. As far as we're concerned, the Liberals they're the two heads of the same neoliberal machine. When you ask the 6 unions who have started a campaign against them, they have decided to name this machine Kaki Libéral. Quebecers have a deep desire for change, and it's not the major political parties that are going to make it happen. On the side of Quebec Solidaire, the arrival of Gabriel Nadeau-Dubois has brought great changes, especially with respect to the priority given to Quebec independence. By proposing a referendum in the first mandate, Quebec Solidaire is turning their backs on the priorities of the Quebecois left. They are putting all their energy into an outdated project that will take us nowhere. My friends, I can tell you today that unlike Quebec Solidaire, the program of the Green Party of Quebec is completely realizable within the current constitutional framework. Let's get to work now on making progress on the agenda of Quebec's left on the provincial scene. Let's start working now to get the whole population out of poverty with a guaranteed minimum income. Let's start working now on the energy transition, the deployment of green technologies, and building the future of Quebec together. Let's build modern green infrastructure such as the Pink Metro line in Montreal. Let's build new infrastructure to recover green energy from food waste. Let us accelerate the energy transition to make Quebec a true leader in the fight against climate change. As you know, Quebec's political scene needs renewal, and the Green Party of Quebec candidates are in the best position to take up this challenge. We are people, and we aim to serve the people. We are coming forward to re-inject energy into Quebec democracy that has been stagnating for far too long. We present ourselves to offer a clear and coherent alternative to the population in all regions of Quebec. We are the team of change. We are the team of renewal. We are the next generation, and we are ready. Ready to take action to defend our values, ready to take action to lead to Quebec towards a greener, more prosperous, and more equitable future.